Good morning everybody, or welcome to the channel Truck It Proud. So if you're new to the industry or looking at getting into the industry, you're going to want to stick around for this video. So stay tuned and let's go. So thank you for joining me guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about the 5 top tips for new drivers, things that I feel would be definitely in your benefit to know or be aware of if you're getting into the industry or you are in the industry already. So the first one is observations. So it's a bit of an obvious one, you learn it a lot on your test when you're doing your lessons, but observations are so key in this job. If you're not looking in your mirrors, I'm gonna start using that one, mirrors. If you're not looking in your mirrors constantly, that is the difference between you going to jail for the rest of your life, yeah, an exaggeration, going to jail for a long time because you killed a cyclist or not. So it's not just your wing mirrors. Obviously we have on the lorry, we have the mirror in the front that looks down the front, which you will find when you become a driver. People that don't drive lorries tend to walk in front of the cab, so you can't actually see them there, which is a pet peeve of mine. I, as a driver, will always step out further so the driver can see me and I can see them. Make that eye contact if you're ever going to walk in front of a lorry and the engine's running and there's someone in it. That's rule 101 in my book, but like I say, a lot of people are not aware of this. Now, it's not, like I say, it's not just your wing mirrors, it's that one down there, and it's also, there's the one on the side that looks down the side of your passenger door. Now this one is very important. If you're in city driving like London or anywhere like that, that mirror is going to save your life. Well, probably not your life, but it will definitely save the cyclist's life that you might crush if you don't check it. So as a HGV driver, one thing you will realise straight away is the amount of blind spots that we have. Now, if you're stopped at traffic lights, the last thing you want to be doing is just looking forward, because you need to be aware of everything that's going on around you. You need to be aware if there's anyone coming down the side in a moped, someone coming down the side on a cycle, somebody coming across the road, a child that's not paying attention, or in some cases adults that don't pay attention as well. So observation for me is definitely a very important one, and like I say, it can be the difference between you having a long prosperous career or spending half your life in prison. So just be aware of your mirrors. Now number 2, the best thing I can say as advice for you, number 2, would be work your way up. Now this doesn't apply to everyone. There are people that are confident, that have been driving horse boxes and towing caravans and will feel confident enough to go straight into a class 1. Me personally, I started off on vans. I was doing mobile tyre fitting, I was driving around the country here, there and everywhere, got a good bit of experience on the road before I went and done my licence for HGV driving. And then I didn't go straight up to class 1, I went and done class 2. I feel like doing class 2 is very helpful. You can get a good feel of the size of the vehicle, you get used to the driving position, and you generally got a bigger swing when you're turning corners, so it makes you more cautious of when turning corners, and that will prepare you for when you get into your class 1. So that's definitely a good tip for number 2. Number 3 is quite another obvious one, but also something that I believe strongly in, that is very useful in this industry, is knowing how to strap your load. Now this is something that you don't get taught in your test, believe it or not. It's something that you have to be shown or just learn yourself along the way, which I find kind of bizarre really, considering you can be pulled over and fined and all that good stuff if you haven't done it properly. So don't ever be afraid to ask some of the older drivers for some advice, because there's always someone out there that's been there, done it, and will have different ideas and different knowledge of what you should and shouldn't be doing. That's not to say they're always going to be correct. Maybe ask a few people, get a different perspective on things. Now I'll show you, once I get to my job, the load that I've got done here. I've used the internal straps, so if you have got things there to help you, use them. Don't just be lazy and disregard them. They're there for a reason. They're there to stop you from getting into bad situations and any problems. Now, I know some people that I've worked with at previous companies that would just literally get loaded and just pull the curtains over and go, yeah, let's go. Now, you might get away with that for a while, but me personally, for the sake of 10 minutes of just strapping up a load, I'm not going to risk getting £100 fine per pallet, so not just £100 fine, so that could be 33 times 100, £3,300, because you're too lazy to put a little ratchet strap over a pallet. It's bizarre, it's bananas. So yeah, just make sure that you're strapping your loads, and if you're not sure on how to strap the loads, please don't be scared to ask in the comments of this video. I have many videos where I do some tutorials and go through them. I'll leave some of the links in the description below for you, and if there's anything that I haven't covered, then yeah, don't be afraid to ask, and I'll try my best to get one of those videos out for you, which obviously isn't always possible because it depends on what type of work I'm doing. Now, obviously, another important thing, so number 4 would be working time directive. Working time directive is very important in the UK and Europe. We have to abide by rules of a tachograph. So if you don't know what that is, it's basically a digital card that we put into the lorry, and it reads all the data from when you started driving to when you stop for your break, so on and so forth. Now, the main thing that gets new drivers is the working time directive. The drive time is usually okay because the dash will generally tell you how much driving you have done during that day. It's the working time directive that usually catches people out if it comes before they've done that amount of drive time. Now, I'm not going to go too much into this because it can get all confusing around people's ears, but there is a video I've also done about working time directive. So if you want to check that out, I'll also leave that in the description for you. But just making sure that you take a note of when you start. So say you start at 6 in the morning, you know you have 6 hours of working time directive, not drive time, working time directive, before you have to stop. So you know you have to stop for a break at least 15 minutes before 12 o'clock in the afternoon. That's as far as I'm going to go with that one, because like I say, it's a topic that can get people quite confused and all muddled, so we'll stop with that one. And then the bonus, making sure that you're connected up to your trailer properly. Now, you might say, well, that's a bit silly, isn't it? Believe me, it happens. There's a lot of people out there that just don't pay attention and don't apply the simple rule of black. So black, if you're not aware, when you're learning to do your test, they will tell you this. It's B, black for brakes, L for legs, A for auxiliaries, C for clip, as in kingpin clip, and then C for clip, and then K for kingpin clip. So if you haven't done your test, you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry too much. You will learn all that on your test. That's something that they do teach you, but just make sure you stick to those rules, because missing out one of them can be the difference between you dropping a trailer on the floor or ripping the cables off of the back, and it's not a cheap fix. So just making sure that you've checked everything before you do try and pull away. This is mainly for when you're dropping a trailer. It does also happen obviously when you connect up to a trailer sometimes, but it's more likely to happen when you drop a trailer. I've known people to take the airlines out, put the parking brake on, do everything, but not just forget to put the legs down, and then pull away, and then boom, on the floor the trailer goes. Now that ain't going to go down very well with your boss. So yeah, just being mindful and vigilant of when you're connecting up to a trailer and disconnecting from a trailer is the last tip that I'm going to give you there. Thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate it very much. If you do like this content and you want more, hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I shall see you on the next one.